Well, hello, Globies. If you didn't see the first video that I did at the American Red Cross, by all means go back and check it. It was such a wonderful video. We had a preparedness volunteer who's an expert at this topic go over and explain things that you need to have and have ready in a bag if an emergency strikes. But today, I'm going to be speaking with Steve Dial, and he is another expert volunteer here at the Red Cross, and he's going to be talking about some of the things that you can do in terms of to prevent emergencies at your house, such as a fire, but also he's going to be sharing, and this is really critical, some of the services that the Red Cross provides. Did you know that Red Cross will help RVers? Yeah, they will. So come on, let's tune in and hear what he has to share, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Hello, Steve.
Hey, Carol.
How's it going?
Super. Glad to have you here at the Red Cross today.
Well, you know what? I called you Steve Dial. It really is Steve Deal, so I apologize for that.
You know what? I'll go by almost anything.
Okay.
That's all right.
Now, you have been a volunteer with the Red Cross for how long?
About 7 years.
Wow. And we were talking, and you were telling me that you respond to, it seems like the majority of your calls are for house fires, or you were saying also RV fires.
Yeah, that's right. You know, a lot of people don't know that the Red Cross goes to home fires and RV fires, but we do. You know, everybody knows we go to hurricanes and tornadoes and earthquakes and all the big stuff, but actually we have way more calls that we go on for home fires primarily, and people who have their RV is their home. So that's what we're looking for with an RV fire. So we specifically get called out when people are displaced from their home, be it a regular home or an RV.
So let me just repeat that. So if a person is living in their RV and it's their home, you will go out to that call and you will provide assistance to them.
That's exactly right.
I didn't know that. And I don't think most people who live in RVs realize that the Red Cross is available for them to call on.
You know, and neither are homeowners. So usually the way that comes down is when the fire department responds for, usually it's fires, but it can be a number of other disasters that happen to a home or an RV, then the emergency responders realize that these people are displaced. They don't appear to have anywhere to go. Not too sure what to do. And then they'll give us a call to come out and meet with those people and give them a hand.
All right, well, why don't you share with my viewers some of the things that you have found are common causes of fires, both in RVs and homes, and then we'll talk, or you will share rather, some of the ways that the Red Cross helps in these instances.
Well, you bet.
So, Steve, what are some of the most common causes of fires in homes and RVs?
Well, they are primarily the same thing, and it's really good to understand what causes these fires, because if we understand that, then we have a shot at preventing them.
Right.
You know, and the best way to get prepared, and that's what we're here to talk about really, is preparation and getting assistance. But if we can avoid the fire altogether, we're way better off. And just like in homes, the number one cause of fires that we see out there is cooking. Primarily what it looks like is usually frying. Somebody's got something frying, they get distracted, the oil ignites, and off we go.
So that's the same case in RV fires too that you've been called out to?
Yes. Most, I would say the vast majority are cooking related.
Wow.
You know, sometimes people are using portable cooking stoves and stuff that aren't very stable. They might have a pet that knocks that over onto some bedding, you know, that sort of thing. So yes, it's usually cooking related is the primary cause of that. So clearly the prevention is to be very careful around the cooking. When it comes to the frying thing, just having a tight-lidding lid that we can put on the pot, the pan, smothers the fire. And of course, having a fire extinguisher handy can help too, but many times we don't even need that when it comes to a pan fire.
You can just get that lid on there quickly enough.
Yeah, get the lid on quickly. You can even buy from Amazon or other places these little fire blankets. I've been seeing them advertised more and more lately.
I haven't heard of that.
Oh yeah, they're a fiberglass and you can just toss it on the fire. That isn't just a pot, it could be some bedding or any other places where the fire is small and contained. And the thing is with with fires in RVs and so forth, you just don't have much time. So we're not going to sit there and get all involved in firefighting or anything, but if it's really confined and the smoke is not built up because it's extraordinarily toxic inside of these vehicles, so we can be incapacitated very, very quickly. So if it's very small, our way out's not blocked, there's not a lot of smoke going on, and I can do something real quick, that stops it, do that one thing real quick. If that doesn't work out, we need to get out, because it is extremely, extremely dangerous with these type of fires.
Now, you were saying that you recommend that people have like a go bag by the door, because a lot of people perish because they're running around in a small space of an RV trying to grab things. Whereas if they can see they're not going to be able to put that fire out, grab that go bag, toss it out and get out of there.
Yeah, let's face it. The fact is, statistically, you're likely to lose the vehicle once a fire starts. So you might as well be thinking that way from the outset. So having a go bag with the essential things that you're going to need is something you're going to want to have handy, that you can toss out of the vehicle as quickly as possible, because that's going to make a big difference. You can well imagine if you're far out in the wilderness and you have a fire like this, if that vehicle burns down with everything you have, no shelter, no food, no warmth, no light, that's a life-threatening situation.
One of the things you were saying, Steve, is that it is really critical to be able to prove your ID in order to get assistance from the Red Cross. So you were saying how important it is to have those documents, whether it's a birth certificate, driver's license, but copies of those, because in order to get help, you have to prove your ID. Is that true?
It is true. So there are a number of ways that we do. We're going to try very, very hard, to get that proof. And there's a number of ways we can do it. But it's not just the Red Cross that somebody needs to be concerned about on this. I respond to home fires. I've been to about 150 of them. And I can tell you, if nobody was injured, if everybody's okay, if the pets are there, and if everything was destroyed, and I see that plenty of times, the house is gone, the cars are in the garage, the cars are gone, people ran out, fire is very fast, they don't have their wallets, they don't have their purses, and they're standing out in front of their burned up home, and they're wondering, what now? What am I going to do? They don't have a phone. They don't know anybody's phone numbers. They have no license. They have no credit cards. All that stuff is gone. They can't even go to the bank to draw money out. And then they're starting to think about, my goodness, how do I replace birth certificates? And all those family photos are gone. Right. All these things are gone. So all these get into the kind of the valuable documents, sort of a thing. And they're important for a lot of different reasons, but having the ability to recover those documents in a total destruction situation is really what we're after. Now, sometimes people in a regular home will say, well, I'll buy a fire-resistant safe, which is really not totally fireproof, it's resistant, but that option's usually not going to be there for us if we're living in an RV.
Right.
If it goes, anything in there's going to go, and the chances are very good we had to jump out so fast that we didn't even bring anything with us, including our telephone or our wallet. So generally what we recommend is to put that information in the cloud if you can.
Oh, okay.
It's free if you want to. You can put it in Google Drive or something similar to that, where you can have all your information up in the cloud in a safe place and log into a computer, anywhere with the right credentials. You can bring those documents up and see them. So things like the registration for the vehicle. So that's one of the big problems we have. So when the Red Cross gets called out, we need to know that it's somebody's home. That's their address, so to speak.
Right, the RV is their home.
In a perfect world, they have the registration with their name on it. Okay, great. Okay, that's a perfect match. And they have a driver's license with their name and picture on it. We need to know who they are. We need to know that they lived there. Those are the two things that we need to know. And
then you're able to, that opens the gate, so as to speak, to get through to get help.
That's right. So our program is a two-part program. So part one of the program is the response to the disaster. And we're available 24/7. We're out there at 3 in the morning. We're out there all the time responding to wherever people are at the scene, to give them assistance. We bring some supplies with us typically. So what we call comfort kits, the toiletries, just some essential things. We have blankets. We have various things that can help people just right away. And typically we provide them with some financial assistance so they can go and get lodging, food, and that sort of stuff.
And I want to just repeat, I know I've said this before, but I want to emphasize, and that's available to people who live in RVs if their RVs are destroyed and they no longer have that roof over their head.
If that's their home, yes,
Okay.
That's exactly right. So so if that's their home, then we want to help them with that.
Even if their car is their home? If they're
We
living
can
in a
provide
car?
a certain level of assistance. There is some differences in how we provide assistance, and there's a number of factors that we go into.
Okay.
Okay, but we do our best to provide the maximum amount of assistance that we can. So,
Okay. Now, how would someone who's in that circumstance, how would they reach out to the Red Cross and get assistance?
they can call 1-800-RED-CROSS. And if there is a first responder there, so if the fire department's there, the police department, it's a great idea to have them call us. So if the first responder calls us, we know it's an agency, that right away is starting to certify to us that there has in fact been a disaster.
Okay.
Because we have to know that too.
Right. Talked about the first wave. So when you get out to a scene, what is it that you're looking for, and how are you making your assessments?
Okay, so once we've cleared that the people really that's their home and everything, we know they need assistance. We've talked about providing them a little financial assistance. Other things that we're looking for is have they lost prescription drugs or critical durable medical goods like hearing aids or wheelchairs, things of that nature, that they might need assistance in getting replaced. Sometimes it can be hard to get, say, a prescription replaced, and it can be urgent.
So say maybe even a CPAP machine?
Possibly.
Okay.
Certainly, we have nurses on call that can assess the situation and help to find a path to get the things that the people need.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one thing is medical needs. The second one is it can be a traumatic experience. Of course, it is a traumatic experience.
Absolutely.
And some people could be having a very difficult time dealing with that. So we do have on-call counselors, trauma counselors, as well as spiritual counselors that can help these folks out and help walk them through the issue. And following the first wave of people, we have our caseworkers, and they are helping these people in the longer haul. So that as they're trying to get their life put back together, they're connecting them with other resources. Who else out there? What agencies? What nonprofits? Who else might be able to provide assistance to these people in the course of their recovery? And our caseworkers have been through this many, many, many times. They know a lot of resources, and they work very hard at connecting those displaced clients with the help that they need.
So basically, you're on the scene, you provide the immediate emergency assistance, and then you refer them out and connect them with people who can help them long term.
Exactly, yeah. So our first responders are the ones that are providing immediate assistance like that, and then our caseworkers follow within a day or two typically to start that recovery process.
Well, I had no idea that the Red Cross did all this. You see them, when you hear about hurricanes and floods, but I didn't know that they did all this type of things within the city when there are just fires and that type of thing, and that they helped RVers. Well, thank you so much, Steve. And again, how could someone contact the Red Cross if they find themselves in this circumstance and they need help from the Red Cross?
Just call 1-800-RED-CROSS.
Thank you so much.